There are addictions that destroy people publicly: alcohol, drugs, gambling, pornography. We know their names, we see their damage, we recognize their symptoms. But there is another addiction, one that society celebrates, one that families normalize, one that quietly buries dreams, kills purpose, destroys courage, and leaves millions of people emotionally alive but spiritually dead. And the terrifying part is that most people addicted to it never realize it. Because this addiction does not make you look broken, it makes you look normal, responsible, reasonable, safe, even comfortable. And that, my friend, is why it is the most dangerous addiction of all. Today, I'm talking about addiction to comfort. The addiction that convinces people to avoid risk, silence their calling, shrinks their dreams, tolerates misery, and makes them negotiate the life they were born to live. This episode may disturb you. Good. Because people are not failing because they lack potential. They are failing because they have become addicted to emotional safety. And addictions never negotiate politely. They take every single thing you have. Now, the most dangerous addictions rarely announces themselves. They disguise themselves as harmless habits. That is what makes them deadly. Comfort does not attack violently. It seduces slowly. It whispers to you, stay where you are. Don't try. Don't risk embarrassing yourself. What if you fail? At least you're safe here, so don't go anywhere. And before you know it, you realize it, years are gone. Dreams gone. Fire is gone. Courage is gone. Not because you lack potential, but because comfort slowly trained you to worship convenience over calling. There are people listening to me right now who have never made a bold move in so many years. Not because they cannot, but because they became emotionally dependent on predictability. Some people are living in emotional prison cells with air conditioning. That, my friend, is the tragedy of comfort. It decorates captivity. One of the saddest things in life is watching people betray their own younger self. The younger version of you who had fire, that had vision, that had imagination, that had conviction. You wanted to build, you wanted to create, you wanted to impart, you wanted to lead, you wanted to transform lives. But then life happened to you. Disappointments happened, fear happened, failure happened, criticism happened. And instead of healing correctly, what did you do? You adjusted downward. Now, you live for survival instead of significance. Now, you negotiate with mediocrity. Now, you explain away your potential. Now, you call fear wisdom. Listen to me carefully. Every time you continuously choose comfort over growth, you slowly disconnect from who you were meant to become. That is why some people feel empty even when life feels stable. Because stability without purpose becomes slow emotional death. There are people who do not actually want freedom. I'm sure you're shocked to hear this, but it's true. They want guaranteed outcomes. But greatness has never lived in guarantees. Every extraordinary life requires uncertainty. Think about it. Every inventor risked failure. Every leader risked criticism. Every entrepreneur risked loss. Every visionary risked rejection. Every calling requires movement before clarity. But addicted people cannot tolerate uncertainty. That is why comfort addiction is so dangerous. It trains people to need certainty before obedience. And certainty is a luxury destiny rarely provides. Some people are waiting to feel confident before they move. That day, my friend, may never come. Because courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is movement while fear is screaming out loud. People stay stuck because comfort rewards them immediately. But growth, on the other hand, rewards people later. Comfort says to you, relax today, avoid discomfort today, delay the hard conversation, ignore the dream, stay hidden. But growth, on the other hand, says to you, discipline now, sacrifice now, learn now, risk it now, stretch now. And human nature naturally gravitates towards immediate emotional relief. That is why average lives are easy to enter. You do not drift into greatness. Instead, you drift into comfort. You drift into distraction. You drift into passivity. You drift into excuses. But greatness requires intentional discomfort. Yes, it does. Because comfort will cost you much more than you think. It will cost you your confidence, resilience, creativity, momentum, purpose, even self respect. Because every time you avoid something difficult, your mind receives a message: I cannot handle hard things. And eventually, that belief becomes your identity. This is why many people no longer trust themselves. They have repeatedly abandoned difficult assignments, repeatedly avoided growth opportunities, repeatedly chosen temporal emotional relief over long term transformation. Comfort, my friend, is expensive. In fact, very expensive because it charges interest on neglected potentials. Even spiritually, comfort has destroyed so many destinies. David fell when he stayed home from battle. Samson fell because he lacked discipline. Jonah ran because obedience felt uncomfortable. The children of Israel wanted slavery again because freedom required uncertainty. Think about that. People can become so psychologically dependent on familiarity that they prefer bondage over transformation. That is how dangerous comfort becomes. Sometimes God disrupts comfortable seasons because comfort was slowly weakening you. Some storms are not punishment. Some storms in your life are actually interruption because comfort become can make you spiritually asleep. Modern society feeds discomfort addiction constantly. Everything now is designed for convenience, fast entertainment. We now have fast dopamine. We now have fast food, fast scrolling, fast validation, fast this, fast this, everything fast, fast, fast. People are now over stimulated and underdeveloped. Many people no longer know how to sit with difficulty. The moment discomfort appears, what do? They escape, they numb themselves, they scroll, they procrastinate, They distract themselves. But growth lives on the other side of sustained discomfort. The version of you that you admire, that stronger version, that disciplined version, that impactful version, that person is waiting behind difficult decisions you keep postponing. Now, cemeteries are full of unused greatness. So many books that had never been written, businesses never started, voices never heard, ideas never pursued, callings never answered. Not because people lacked intelligence, but because they became addicted to emotional comfort. Imagine reaching the end of your life and then realizing that fear made your decisions, comfort shaped your future, safety became your prison. My friends, strategy, not failure. That is unused potential. Now, breaking comfort addiction requires intentional disruption. You must retrain yourself to tolerate discomfort again by starting small. Do difficult things consistently. Have the hard conversation. Launch the project. Apply for that opportunity. Speak up. Take the risk. Learn that skill. Show up before you feel ready. You do not build courage by thinking. You build courage by acting. Action teaches the nervous system that survival is possible outside familiarity. And eventually, your confidence will expand. I'm not talking about the fake confidence, I'm talking about earned confidence. Some people listening to me today, including you, you're frustrated because deep down you know you have outgrown your environment. You have outgrown your excuses. You have outgrown your limitations. And you have outgrown your fears. But growth demands separation from old version of yourself. And that transition is uncomfortable. There's grief in transformation because every new level requires the death of something familiar. That is why many people sabotage growth. They miss their old identity even when it was destroying them. Every meaningful transformation feels uncomfortable initially. The gym is uncomfortable. Leadership is uncomfortable. Healing is uncomfortable. Discipline is uncomfortable. Growth is uncomfortable. Even truth is uncomfortable. But remaining the same eventually becomes more painful than changing. And that moment changes everything. The day discomfort becomes less frightening than regret, your life begins to shift. You must decide. Do you want comfort or do you want your destiny? Because many times you cannot keep both of them. The greatest versions of people are rarely born in comfort. They are born in pressure, in stretching seasons, in uncertainties, in difficult decisions, in moments where retreat would have been easier. The future may require a version of you your comfort zone can never produce. So maybe the real question is not, am I comfortable? Maybe the real question is my comfort quietly destroying the person I was meant to become? That is what you should ask yourself. Yes, from now. May you not mourn the life you could have lived. May you not stand over the graveyard of your unused potential. May you not realize too late that safety became your cage. So break the addiction right now. Move, risk, build, obey, create, speak, and most importantly, become. Your destiny is waiting on the other side of discomfort. So, what is it going to be? If this episode challenged you, please share with someone you know is sleeping on their potential. And remember, not every addiction destroys loudly. Some destroy people quietly while making them feel safe. So until next time, stay dangerous to mediocrity. Move, become, leave your comfort zone.